Simplifying algebraic expressions. When we simplify a set of algebraic expressions, what we're trying to do is combine together any variables that are the same, and then also combine together any of the numbers. For example A, I can see that I've got y as a variable in two places, and then I've got z kind of on its own. Before I get started, I'm going to utilize order of operations to distribute this -2 to both of the items. It's got to multiply by both of those items that are inside the parentheses. Whenever I have a plus or a minus sign, it actually belongs to the term that follows it. So this negative belongs to the 2, and this positive belongs to the z. We'll see some of that in some future problems here in a minute. Let's do the multiplication here. I'll leave the 2/3 y alone. Okay, that's in the front there. -2 times, when I multiply a whole number by a fraction, I just multiply that number by the numerator. So -2 times 4 gives me a -8 over 3y. And then -2 times z is a -2z. I'm going to combine together these two terms that have a y. Luckily, the denominators are the same for both fractions, so what I'm doing is going to add the numerators, or in this case, subtract the numerators together. So I've got 2/3 minus 8/3, which is a -6/3 y minus 2z. -6 divided by 3 is -2, and so my final answer is -2y minus 2z. For example B, I've got two terms. These fractions are both with the same denominator of t. And then I've got two other terms, a -2 and a +1. Those are numbers with no variables. Those can be grouped together. So I'll start by rewriting this by grouping things together. Let's see, I've got 5 over t and then a -3 over t. As I mentioned a minute ago, when you have a plus or a minus sign, it belongs to the term that follows it. And then we'll have what, a -2 and a +1. So I'll group these two together because they both have the same denominator of t, and I'll group these two together. So this is going to give me 5 minus 3 is going to be a 2 over t, and then -2 plus 1 is a -1. So here's my final answer, 2 over t minus 1. For example C, I've got multiple variables again. I've got p's and q's, but I've got to do some multiplication before I start this problem. Hang on. So I want to take the 4 times p and multiply it by q, and then also multiply it by a -1. So I'll get 4pq and then minus 4p. Similarly here, I'll take this q and multiply it by 1 and also by a -p. So that'll give me plus q minus p times q. Now I want to group together this term, which has a p and a q, with this term that also has a p and a q. I'll have 4pq minus pq. And then the other two terms don't have anything in common, so they'll just stay separated. Minus 4p plus q. I have 4p minus technically 4pq minus 1pq, which is going to be 3 of them. So I've got 3p times q minus 4p plus q. And then for this last problem, we have to distribute this negative sign. It's like there's a -1 hanging out in front. That negative needs to distribute to both of these items. Over here, we've got a plus sign, so that's not going to be too difficult. We can just kind of get rid of the parentheses there. So I've got 9r minus s minus 2r. Again, I'm distributing a -1 to both items in those parentheses. And then plus 6 minus s. And then I'll group together anything that's alike. So I've got these r's that are alike. And then we have these s's that are alike. So I've got 9r minus 2r minus s plus 6. 9 minus 2 is 7. And then I've got a -1 minus another 1, so that's minus 2s plus 6.